Extreme Detroit. I'm Mike McClintock. We're doing an in-between-isode today. We got a cool guest, Neil Mandt from MandtBros.com. See it down there on your screen. Neil is a Hollywood producer. He does reality shows. He's in town. He's looking for some cool stuff. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mike. It's great to be here.
Coming on.
Yeah. So how did I get here, right?
Yeah. What exactly is a Hollywood producer? What do you do?
Well, first of all, I started here in Detroit.
Right. Local boy does good.
I was a reporter for WDIV back in 1990, so a long time ago. God, it sounds like a long time ago. 25 years ago.
25 years ago, right?
But yeah, I moved to Los Angeles and I started a company with my brother, Mandt Brothers Productions, and we've produced movies and television shows. Last year we had a movie out called $1 Million Arm for Disney. We found the story and developed that into a feature film. We've created a lot of television shows over the years. Some of our hit shows were Jim Rome is Burning for ESPN. We created that.
One of my favorites.
We did over 3,000 episodes of that for ESPN and for CBS Sports Network.
I think I watched half of them.
Okay. And then we did Destination Truth for Sci-Fi Channel. We had shows on Food Network and Showtime. So, television is our main core business, and as I'm in Detroit right now, I'm looking for cool stories.
Right.
That's simple. So I have a separate website. Maybe you can pop that up right here.
Yeah, right. Let's do it like this.
There you go. NeilMandt.com. Zing! You need like a little thing at the end that goes bing.
Right.
Can you do that?
Oh yeah.
I'll put a
flare
on it. Bing.
There you go.
So anybody that has an idea, or they think of a talent, or they think of a business that could be cool for a reality show, just go to NeilMandt.com and send me an email. I'm open to everybody's ideas. And here's the catch.
Yeah.
If you were to bring me an idea,
right. What's it gonna look like?
Well, characters, conflicts, and stakes.
Okay.
Those are the three things that make up any good television show.
Right.
Great characters, somebody who's dynamic, and I prefer reality.
Right.
A real person. So somebody who's doing an interesting job, or they're just super dynamic and interesting and wild and crazy, but a good character. Conflict. Now, conflict doesn't mean fighting and pushing and screaming. It doesn't have to be Kardashians, although that's okay. But it could just be they have something they have to overcome in the episode.
During the episode,
their conflict. So you ever see Orange County Chopper?
Love it.
So Orange County Chopper, the guy has to make this motorcycle every week.
Right.
And oh my God, something goes wrong.
Oh
my God.
Somebody's slacking off.
So unexpected.
I can't believe it.
That's his conflict. He has to overcome that conflict every week.
Right.
And the stakes are, if he doesn't get them overcome, well, then he doesn't get his job done. He looks like a jerk, or doesn't make money in the motorcycle. So characters, conflicts, and stakes.
Okay.
So that's what I always look for out of a good show.
And the character is Paulie.
Yeah.
Or the son.
Or
correct. The people in there, and so that the character can almost stand on itself.
Totally.
And then you've got to have that. So you can't just have two of the three. You've got to have all three. You can't have a great process and a great conflict and a great stakes without having a great character.
No.
And even if you have a great character,
he has to do something.
He's got to have the stakes and he's got to have the conflict.
Yes.
So 2 out of 3 doesn't cut it. It's got to be all 3, and that's the hard part, right?
Right. That's well, it's not even the hard part actually, because there are a lot of great stories out there, not just in Detroit, but you think about how big our country is, 350 million people. So there's a lot of people out there. And I always tell people that there's a line of celebrities who would like to have a show on E! That are being rejected.
Right.
So you have to be not only great, but lucky.
Okay.
So timing is important.
Right.
So like you and I were talking about, various tech incubators down here and ways of maybe creating a show. That's why, everybody should get in touch with me, because the timing may not be right now, but in 6 months or in a year. So, we develop shows. Like we sold a show from Michigan. There's a guy who owned an ice sculpting company in Grand Rapids.
Okay, right.
And he came to us and he says, I think we do some pretty interesting things. And they did. They made amazing ice sculptures, like stuff like a mechanical bowl out of ice you could ride. And I was like, all right, this could be cool. It's sort of food adjacent.
Right.
So I took it around to TLC and Discovery and the Food Network. And they were all like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but I don't know. Food Network, after 3 years of me knocking on the door, they finally said, okay, we'll try it. And then we did it. So it just took a while for them to come around. So it's characters, conflicts, stakes, and timing.
Exactly. And you got to pitch this stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities between the tech world and the entertainment world.
Very much.
Not just from, it seems like, you assemble together a bunch of people who work in different areas. You come together, all of a sudden you're working on something, you disband some of these people who come together over here again.
Yes.
It's a lot like technology. But at the same time, you've got to take that idea, fully fledge that thing out, and figure out how to pitch it to the people who are going to take it to the next level. It's kind of like in tech, you got to do that, to get the funding for it, but that's basically a lot of what you do.
Yeah, so what we do is we make like a sizzle reel,
right?
Like a short videotape, and again, I assume you make some sort of pitch deck in your business.
Yeah.
So we'll make a sizzle reel and a pitch deck, take the networks, show it to them, and then they'll take it around internally and then they'll share. That's why it's important that the pitch is created in a way so anybody can pitch it.
Right. So it's good, and it shows those three things because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for care. So it's not like it's this great idea out of left field. There's a process to this. There's an organized process, and that's what you know how to do.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a lot of what a producer does, right?
Yes.
And then you actually have to run the show, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what I do. I'm what's called a showrunner.
Right.
That's my term. There's a million kind of producers in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But a very small percent that are called showrunners. I'm a showrunner.
Okay. So you go around, you take your sizzle reels, which is kind of like your pitch deck. You're pitching it to the networks. Sooner or later, they give you the green light on it, and they essentially fund it, and then you run the whole thing.
That's correct. Okay. Yes. Well, along with my brother and our team.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. The whole team. So how does somebody from Detroit wind up getting into something like that? How hard is it to break into the world that you've broken into?
Probably the hardest.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything hard.
Yeah. How many have you ever had a rejection letter?
I've had a rejection letter. I get many rejection emails.
Yeah. How many times have you got shot down in your life?
Thousands.
Right. Thousands.
Thousands.
How long have you been doing this?
25 years.
25 years, and you're still getting shot down every day.
Oh, every day.
Right.
I can pull up emails right now. Rejections. There's probably rejection right there.
You got rejection right there. It just popped up.
I don't even think twice about rejection. It's just the key thing is to look and try and understand the rejection.
Right.
And say, is the rejection because of a problem in what I'm pitching? Mm-hmm. Is it a rejection because of the problem in the timing? Mm-hmm. Is it a rejection because there's a problem with my materials?
Right.
So maybe it's like I didn't present it right. Maybe my talent sucks. Mm-hmm. Or maybe the person just isn't ready to hear it for whatever reason. They had a bad lunch, or they had a bad week, or they've heard this pitch 10 times before, or it's the first time they've heard it. Sometimes when you give somebody something that's totally unique, they can't process it.
Right.
Sometimes they jump on it. They're like, oh my God, that's unique.
Right.
And sometimes they back off. They go, ooh, that's just too out there.
Right.
Have you ever heard that?
Oh my
People
God.
say, oh, that's just too out there.
It's just not in our realm of focus right
and
now.
in 6 months, someone else is doing it down the street.
Right.
And you're like, I already pitched that.
Right.
And they'd say, oh, well, he pitched something different. Mm-hmm. Or he had it maybe developed differently. But no, it just may have been the timing.
Right.
So I try and take from the rejection, what is causing this rejection? And sometimes I can decipher it, and sometimes I can't.
Right. But the bottom line is, you're constantly pitching stuff.
Constantly.
Your job
every
is
day.
basic to pitch stuff every day and get shot down. So, it's not like you can just go out there and say, hey, I got an idea, pitch it once or twice, and then, well, I guess this job sucks.
No.
That's
I'm rejected no less than 10 times every day.
Okay.
No less. Sometimes 50 times a day.
What was the first thing that was your win? What did you finally get a green light on?
The first thing that was sort of a big win, I think. I did a lot of things. I worked on the Olympics, and I directed a few movies in the 90s, and I was a reporter for Channel 4 here in Detroit. But the first big thing in Hollywood was my brother and I sold a show to ESPN called Beg, Borrow, and Deal in 2001. And that was a TV series, and we were the showrunners on it. And that was the first time we were made a showrunner. Where they gave us the entire budget and they let us handle the entire show, and we were completely responsible for it. And so that was our first big win, and that led us into series television.
Okay, and so that took you years and years and years of pitching to get to that mark.
Yeah, well, I moved to Los Angeles initially when I was 24, and I was 31. Mm-hmm. So that's 7 years.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of scrapping to climb up that ladder. So there's no you were just sitting there and all of a sudden somebody walked up and said, "Hey, you know what? That idea you had, here you go. Poof, you're a Hollywood producer."
No, the interesting thing is when I was struggling in that earlier 7 years, it was difficult for me to get meetings with people. Mm-hmm. So I would get all rejections, but just not as many rejections.
Right.
Now that I have more connections, I can get more meetings and I can get more rejections.
Right.
So I'm rejecting even more now.
Right. So you're just it's all a question of building up the amount of times you can get rejected.
So you can get more success. And it's a numbers game. Literally, again, you're trying to create good content. You're trying to come up with interesting ideas. You're trying to develop exactly what the network is doing. And I try and follow and track what the networks are doing. Mm-hmm. But again, they only have so many slots.
Right.
And there's a lot of other good, smart, talented people who are trying to do the same thing that I'm doing. So I need to be if not better, different.
Okay. How many networks are there that are in general that you can pitch a reality show to?
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah. I mean, I focus on about 30 that I think are key networks.
Right.
But there's many.
Do they have their own sort of philosophy, so you know when you go into X network that this is their wheelhouse?
Yeah.
This is their wheelhouse.
They do for a certain period of time, but they're constantly changing. They're constantly rebranding. So executives are leaving. Their mandates are changing. Networks every day are changing what they're doing.
How long is that cycle? I mean, is that from the time?
6 months to 6 years.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah.
Depending on the people. So there's no common theme to it all. Kind of sounds just
No.
exactly like technology.
It's very inconsistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how long are you in town?
I'm here for a few more days.
A few more days.
Yeah.
You're gonna do a couple of Periscope shows.
I'm doing Periscope all the time. So again, if you guys follow me on Twitter, just do @NeilMandt right there. Sing @NeilMandt. That's my Periscope name as well. And we do interesting shows where I interview people. Mike was on the show. And we take questions. And that's a place where you can pitch me directly live every day. But you don't need to wait for that. You can just go to neilmandt.com. Sing.
And pitch it. Perfect.
That's it.
Thanks for
I'm
coming
open
on.
to pitches from anybody anytime.
Awesome. We'll see you next time.